Domestic violence has become one of the biggest social crises of our time, and it's finally starting to be treated that way. In New South Wales, a new law now ensures that when someone murders their intimate partner, they face the same mandatory minimum sentence as other major homicides, which is a 25-year non-parole period. And it's a strong statement. It says that the lives of women, children, and victims of domestic violence matter just as much as anybody else. And while it's progress, I can't help but wonder, why are we still only reacting after the damage is done? See, the thing I see is that we talk a lot about keeping people safe, and that's absolutely vital. But once the police leave, once the court case is over, once the locks are changed and the danger has passed, there's this silence that settles in. And that's the part most people don't see, the recovery stage. It's the years and sometimes decades it takes to rebuild trust, to stop flinching at kindness, to find yourself again after living in survival mode for so long. Most support systems focus on getting someone out, not on helping them come back home to themselves afterwards. And I think that's where our systems and our culture keep falling short. When you've lived through abuse, you don't just need a safe house. You need to relearn what safety feels like inside your body. You need language for your needs. You need boundaries that signal what's safe and what's not walls to keep the world out, but signals that help you stay connected without losing yourself again. That's the work we rarely talk about, the long, messy human part of healing. And it's not just survivors who need this education. We need to start teaching it in schools, in workplaces, in families, what healthy power looks like, how to communicate, how to express needs without control, how to manage emotion without violence. That's where prevention actually begins. The thing is, I've found that the truth of the matter is most perpetrators weren't born violent. They've learnt it. It's a choice. It comes from homes where love and fear were mixed together, from cultures that rewarded dominance, or even from silence. And if we don't start unlearning those patterns early before they turn into harm, we'll keep legislating the aftermath instead of preventing it. And, for survivors, there's another piece that we overlook. After you leave, you don't just lose the person. You often lose your identity, your community, your sense of belonging. The rebuilding isn't linear, it's fragile and it's sacred and it deserves real attention. We need to talk more about this stage, not as recovery, but as reclamation, reclaiming self-trust, reclaiming our voice, and reclaiming our lives back. And that's why I believe education has to stretch beyond crisis response. We need trauma-informed programs, long-term funding, and spaces where people can safely rediscover who they are, not just learn how to survive. The legal system can protect your body, but healing requires something deeper, a rebuilding of identity, safety, and worth. And that doesn't happen in a courtroom. It happens in community, in therapy, in quiet moments of truth where you finally realize, I'm allowed to exist again. So yes, hold perpetrators accountable, strengthen the laws, but also ask, what are we doing to educate, to prevent, to support the building and rebuilding of lives long after the headlines fade? Because ending domestic violence isn't just about stopping harm, it's about rebuilding humanity. And that is everybody's responsibility. So if you or someone you know is affected by domestic violence, support is available on 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. Let's change the story, not just the sentence.